You don't have to speak a word, your presence already says everything. The moment you walk into a space, the frequency shifts, even if no one can quite put their finger on what just happened. People who are unaware of energy still feel something when you're near, and the ones who are aware can barely hide the way their body reacts. Your aura isn't loud in volume, but it's thunderous in power. It's not about what you wear, how you walk, or what you say. It's deeper. It's what you carry in your spirit. It's what you've survived and transformed into wisdom. It's what God placed in you that cannot be copied. No matter how closely others try to imitate, you carry something ancient, something divine, something disruptive, and that makes people feel everything they're not ready to feel. When you're a chosen one, your energy enters the room before your physical body does. People start to notice a discomfort within themselves they can't explain. It's not because you're doing something wrong, it's because you're carrying a different kind of light. That light exposes things. It brings truth into focus. It makes masks slip. It challenges egos. It makes lies crumble. You don't even have to point things out. Your energy naturally reveals what's real and what's fake. This is why some people seem standoffish or overly aggressive around you, even though you haven't given them any reason. It's because your very presence threatens the illusions they've worked hard to maintain. It shakes their sense of control. It makes them feel seen when they weren't ready to be. People sense authority in you, even if you've never claimed it. They sense power, even if you're the most humble one in the room. They sense grace, even if you never asked to be admired. And yet, that silent authority doesn't always draw admiration. It can provoke jealousy, confusion, even fear. You'll notice people watching you, trying to figure you out, trying to pin you down with labels that never quite fit. They can't name what they feel, so they project, they gossip, they create stories to explain the discomfort you cause just by existing. They say you're intimidating, arrogant, cold, or distant, not realizing it's their own insecurities echoing back to them. You didn't say a word, but your energy triggered something they were trying to avoid. You'll be asked, over and over, who is that? And why do I feel something around them? Because people can't ignore the magnetic pull you carry. Some are fascinated, some are disturbed, some are both at the same time. People will go out of their way to mention you, even to people you've never met. Your name comes up in rooms you've never walked into. Strangers seem to know you, others seem suspicious of you. It's not paranoia, it's spiritual reality. Your vibration is loud in a world that's gotten used to silence. Your truth is sharp in a world that thrives on blurred lines. You are clarity walking, and clarity isn't always welcomed by those still living in denial. You have this way of unintentionally making people question their lives, their choices, their identities. It's not that you walk around preaching or correcting others, it's that you embody something real in a world addicted to the fake. You represent authenticity in a space that's saturated with masks. So when people encounter you, their spirits either lean in or try to run. They're either drawn closer or pushed away, and many don't even understand why. They may call it a vibe, a gut feeling, or intuition, but really, it's spiritual recognition. Something in them remembers something in you, even if they can't explain it with words. Their soul knows. You carry truth like a mirror, and not everyone is ready to see their reflection. Sometimes your silence is louder than someone else's scream. Sometimes your calmness speaks more clearly than someone's chaos. You have the ability to enter a room and make noise without uttering a word. Your stillness alone can shift dynamics. People either try to imitate your calm or challenge it. But they can't ignore it. They don't know why they keep watching you, why they keep bringing your name up in conversations, why they keep wondering what you're thinking or who you really are. You become a puzzle to them, not because you're trying to be mysterious, but because they've never met someone who doesn't need the crowd to validate them. That unsettles people who depend on external approval to define their worth. There's a strength in you that doesn't demand attention but still commands it. It's the quiet kind of strength that doesn't flex but still dominates the atmosphere. People who are used to performing, to overcompensating, to masking their insecurities. These people don't know what to do with you. They either admire your quiet confidence or feel threatened by it, sometimes both. And the weird part is, you're just being yourself. You're not trying to cause waves. You're not trying to shake anyone's foundation, but you do. You walk into a space and unknowingly highlight everything someone else is pretending not to feel. You become a living reminder of what's real, and that's not always welcome in a world built on appearances. People start to observe you from a distance. They start asking questions. Why are they always so calm? How come nothing seems to shake them? Who are they really? Why do I feel so weird around them? But the truth is, you're not doing anything except existing in your authentic state. The fact that you don't follow the crowd, that you don't shrink for others' comfort, that you don't perform or pretend it alone makes you stand out. It makes people curious, cautious, or both. You become a reference point for something they don't quite understand but can't seem to stop thinking about. Your energy leaves an imprint. Even after you've left the room, people still feel you. They replay conversations in their heads. They wonder if they said something wrong. They question why they felt so exposed around you. They overthink. They analyze. They obsess, not realizing that you just awakened a part of them they weren't ready to confront. Your energy is a light switch in a dark room. It reveals dust, cracks, and truth. Some people appreciate that clarity, others resent you for it, but either way, no one forgets it. No one forgets you. When people catch feelings for you, it doesn't stay on the surface, it digs deep, often deeper than they were prepared to go. You're not like the others they've met or fallen for. There's something about you that feels spiritual, something that stirs things inside of them they didn't even know were there. You don't just make someone feel attraction, you make them feel reflection. They start to see themselves differently. You awaken emotions that are raw, intense, and unfiltered. You open doors to parts of their soul they had kept closed for years. You don't love like the world teaches people to love. You love with depth, with honesty, with presence. And even if you're not offering love back, the way you exist makes them feel like they've been seen for the first time. That kind of experience isn't easy to handle, especially for someone who's been hiding from their true self. Loving a chosen one is not like loving someone who is still figuring out their value. You already walk in your truth. You already know who you are. That self-awareness is beautiful, but also intimidating, because now the person catching feelings for you has to ask themselves, do they love you, or are they drawn to the healing energy they feel around you? Are they ready to rise to your level, or are they hoping you'll lower yourself to meet theirs? You become the mirror, the test, the catalyst. Your presence alone requires emotional maturity, spiritual growth, and inner honesty, and not everyone is ready for that. Not everyone is willing to evolve just to be close to someone who radiates what they've never seen before. When someone begins to feel deeply for you, it shakes their world. They can't explain it to their friends, because it's not logical. It's not about appearances or surface-level traits. It's spiritual chemistry. It's soul recognition. And that kind of connection doesn't follow the usual rules. They may try to suppress it. They may try to act casual, try to pretend they don't care. But it shows. It shows in the way they look at you when you're not watching. It shows in how your absence feels heavier than it should. It shows in their nervous energy, in their moments of silence when they're trying to find the right words but can't. Loving you is not a choice they made, it's something that happened the moment their spirit felt yours. What they don't realize is that having feelings for someone like you forces them to confront their own shadows, because you don't play games, you don't settle, you don't chase, you don't manipulate, you move with divine purpose, and your heart is not for entertainment. You require authenticity, you require presence, you require alignment, and someone who is used to love being chaos or confusion is thrown off by that. They don't know how to handle something real, so they start to run, but even in their distance, they still feel you. Even when they try to distract themselves, your energy lingers. It's not obsession, it's impact. You leave a mark that can't be replaced, because your love, even when unspoken, is sacred. They begin to question everything they thought they knew about love. They ask themselves why they feel so vulnerable, so raw, so exposed. Why just the idea of being close to you terrifies and excites them at the same time. Why your voice calms them in ways no one else's can. Why your silence makes more noise than anyone else's presence. They try to compare you to others, but no comparison stands. You're not someone they can figure out in a few conversations. You're not someone they can use as a temporary fix. You're a revelation. You're a spiritual experience wrapped in human form, and experiencing that kind of connection forces them to decide. Will they face their truth, or retreat into the safety of the familiar? Feelings for you don't stay light-hearted. They don't remain casual, because you don't evoke surface-level emotions. You tap into the places people try to hide. You remind them of everything they've yet to heal. You bring love that's not performative, but intuitive. And while they may crave it, they're also terrified of what that kind of love demands. It demands honesty, it demands growth, it demands vulnerability, and those are things not everyone is ready to give. So they struggle, they pull close and push away, they try to unfeel what they feel, but it never goes away. You become the name they whisper in prayer but avoid in person. You become the presence they long for but aren't brave enough to approach. You may notice them watching you from a distance, confused by their own reactions. They may even act like they're not interested, as a way to protect their pride. But deep down, they're spiraling, not because you hurt them, but because you awakened them. You reminded them of what love could be, if only they were ready. But being ready requires work. It requires facing insecurities, ego wounds, past traumas, and being around you makes it impossible to ignore those things. That's why feelings for you feel dangerous, not because you're toxic, but because you're powerful. You don't manipulate how your energy alone disrupts patterns. You don't chase, yet your absence haunts. You don't entertain chaos, and that forces them to choose, evolve or exit. They may try to replace you, they may try to seek your presence in others, but it doesn't work. It never works, because you're not just a persona. They felt your frequency, and once someone has felt that level of connection, that level of realness, nothing else hits the same. They feel lost in the noise of others. They start to notice the fakeness in every shallow interaction. They remember how you made them feel without trying, how being near you made them want to be a better version of themselves, even if that scared them, and so they circle back, mentally or emotionally, because the feelings don't die, they just wait. They wait for courage to catch up with the truth they already know. Feelings for you act as a mirror. They reflect all the work that needs to be done. They force people to see where they've settled, where they've lied to themselves, where they've lacked self-love. Being around you demands inner alignment, because your energy naturally filters out anything false, and that's why it feels like a storm inside when someone begins to fall for you. It's not chaos you bring, it's cleansing. It's not destruction, it's transformation. But to someone not ready for that level of realness, it feels like danger. It feels like a risk. It feels like standing at the edge of something that could either heal them or break them open. And the truth is, it's both. Being a chosen one means that you don't just attract people, you trigger them. You don't have to say a word, but your energy announces itself before you even walk into the space. You hold a presence that demands attention not through arrogance, but through alignment. You radiate truth, and in a world built on facades, truth is unsettling. People can't always explain why they feel strange around you. They might even convince themselves that it's something you did or said. But deep down, it's not about you at all. It's about what you represent. You carry light that pierces through darkness, and that makes those who are still living in shadows feel exposed. You don't need to judge or correct anyone, just being in your energy field makes them feel like they have something to hide, and for many, that's a feeling they can't stand. That's why people love you and fear you at the same time. You walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere because your soul is not of this world. You are spiritually wired to operate on a frequency higher than the average person. That frequency naturally rejects anything that doesn't resonate with authenticity, purity, and divine order. People who are aligned with love and truth will feel peace around you, but those who are hiding behind illusions, masks, and ego will feel uncomfortable. You don't have to point out their falsehood, they feel it internally, just by being near you. That's the power of spiritual light. It exposes everything that isn't real without trying to, and while that might sound beautiful, it's also why your path is rarely easy. You don't get to blend in, you don't get to be just another person. You were chosen to stand out, and that comes with consequences. Most people are used to relationships, friendships, and even casual connections that stay on the surface. They've built their entire lives around performance, saying the right things, acting the right way, playing roles that keep them safe. But when they meet you, none of that works. Their words fall flat, their masks feel heavy, their roles crumble. They can't maintain the illusion because your energy won't allow it. They either rise to the level of truth, or they retreat, and most don't realize why they feel so uneasy around you. They think it's your attitude or your quietness or your standards, but it's much deeper. It's your soul reminding theirs that they've settled for less. It's your existence challenging everything fake they've been holding on to. It's your light shining directly on the places they've kept hidden, even from themselves. You don't just walk in truth, you demand it from others by your very being. That doesn't mean you're judgmental or harsh. It means your frequency simply cannot be in harmony with pretense. That makes you a spiritual test for a lot of people. They meet you, they're drawn in. They feel something unfamiliar but powerful, and then they start to feel the weight of their own unhealed wounds, their dishonesty, their inner conflict. You become a reflection they weren't asking for, but suddenly can't ignore. They either lash out or grow up. They either distance themselves or try to earn the right to stay in your orbit. You don't force this choice on them. It's the nature of your spiritual assignment. As a chosen one, your presence alone is enough to stir awakening or resistance in others. People will misread you, misunderstand you, and mislabel you, not because you're unclear, but because their perception is clouded by fear. Some will call you arrogant when you're simply confident. Some will call you cold when you're simply protective of your energy. Some will call you intense when you're simply unwilling to entertain nonsense. Your standards will offend them, not because they're too high, but because they reveal how low they've allowed theirs to fall. And rather than rise, many will try to bring you down. They'll project, provoke, and pretend like you're the problem, but deep down, they know it's not you. It's the mirror you hold, a mirror that shows them their smallness, their fakeness, their spiritual immaturity. And facing that is uncomfortable, it's painful, but it's also necessary. That's why you're here. You weren't chosen to please everyone. You weren't sent here to make people feel safe in their stagnation. You were called to be a disruptor, a truth carrier, a soul igniter. Your light was made to shake foundations, to shift dynamics, to wake people up from spiritual slumber. And that kind of role doesn't come with applause. It comes with resistance, isolation, and misunderstanding. But it also comes with power, a power to transform, to awaken, to heal. That's the paradox of being a chosen one. You bring healing, but that healing often begins with discomfort. You bring clarity, but that clarity can feel like chaos to those used to confusion. You bring love, but that love is so pure, it feels threatening to those who've only known conditional affection. You don't even have to try. Your very presence challenges people to step up or step away. Some people will try to stay close to you because they sense that being near you will elevate them. They'll draw from your energy, try to copy your essence, try to attach themselves to your light without doing the inner work. But energy doesn't lie. Eventually, the gap between who they pretend to be and who you really are will reveal itself. And when it does, they'll either evolve or resent you for shining too bright. You'll find that people start distancing themselves not because you've changed, but because they realize they can't keep faking it in your presence. They realize they either have to confront their own growth or cut ties, and while that can feel painful, it's also protection. Your energy repels what's not meant for you. Your spirit filters out what's not aligned. You don't lose people, you shed what was never rooted in truth to begin with. Being spiritually triggering doesn't mean you're the villain. It means you carry the kind of light that doesn't allow people to stay asleep. It means your life is a walking invitation to growth, healing, and truth. And not everyone wants to RSVP. Some will admire you from a distance. Some will try to dim your light. Some will attempt to get close, only to realize they're not ready. But all will be impacted. No one encounters you and leaves the same. You carry that kind of presence, the kind that stirs something deep, something divine, something unforgettable. You weren't made to blend in. You were chosen to awaken. So if you've ever wondered why people react to you the way they do, broken bar, why your presence causes whispers, tension, curiosity, or even fear of broken bar, understand this: you are not meant to be understood by everyone. You are a spiritual mirror in a world full of masks. You carry a light that exposes shadows and a truth that interrupts illusions. Your energy does more than just walk into rooms, it rearranges them. People feel something when you're near because your soul was never ordinary. You are chosen, set apart, and divinely assigned. That assignment comes with weight, but also with sacred purpose. People feel you before they know you. They admire you, question you, and fear you often all at once. But don't ever shrink because others are uncomfortable. Your very existence is a call to awakening, and whether they embrace it or reject it, you've already done your part just by being who you are. To every chosen one out there, thank you for holding your ground, even when it felt lonely. Thank you for staying aligned with truth, even when it made others distance themselves. Your presence is divine, your impact is real, your light is necessary. Stay strong, stay silent when needed, stay loud when called, but above all stay you. Thank you for watching. Much love to every soul walking the chosen path. Stay protected, stay powerful, and remember your presence is the message. Until next time, peace, gratitude, and blessings always.